This is the brand new Titleist Tour Speed golf ball, and Titleist are making some bold claims. They're saying the ball speed is going to be faster than a Srixon Z Star, also a Callaway Chrome Soft, and also a TaylorMade Tour Response. So in this video, I'm going to test those claims, because ball speed is one thing, but does it actually equate to more distance? Let's find out. Now, before we test this golf ball with the driver against those other golf balls that Titleist claims to be faster than, I want to also test this golf ball thoroughly first, because I'm quite intrigued. At the price point, on paper at the moment, they're saying it's going to be £40 a dozen. But actually, it's probably going to be closer to £30 a dozen once they actually come out for retail, because Pro V1, for example, is £54 per dozen on paper, but often you'll see them being sold for £42, let's say. So these are roughly £10 to £15 cheaper per dozen. What I'm intrigued to test today is the feel. So I'm going to hit some putts, the chips, see if I can get some spin on these golf balls. Also test the durability, because this is a different cover than you would see on a premium ball like a Pro V1. And like I say, can't wait to get back to the tee and test it against the Srixon, the Callaway and the TaylorMade ball. It's very unlike Titleist to make claims against other manufacturers. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen them do that. It's almost a bit more of a TaylorMade thing to do. So I'm intrigued to see what this ball performs like. Without further ado, let's go putting first and see how they feel. Okay, so after hitting some putts and chips and pitches with this golf ball, it is a little bit harder than a Pro V1. The spin around the green, not loads of spin, but there was a little bit of physical on them, which impressed me. As soon as I landed them in there, they just kind of dropped and stopped. It's probably exactly what I was expecting. Maybe with a Pro V1 from that shot, I might have seen a little bit more zip back, but to be fair, I didn't need it for that shot. One thing that I've always had this idea for, slightly firmer golf balls seem to be a little bit longer. Now, comparing this to the other balls, which we'll do in a moment, that might stack up in the Titleist favour. Let's find out. But before that, this would not be a Shiels ball review if I didn't get in the bunker and do a durability test and then chop one in half to see what's inside. Let's do that first, and then let's get back to the tee. So after 10 shots in the bunker, this golf ball, to be honest, looks like it's done 2 rounds of 18 holes. It's been battered and bruised. There's actually a little bit more damage than I expected to see, just because sometimes when the cover's firmer, you feel like it's going to be more durable, but that's not passed with flying colours, I'll be honest with you. So far, tested it on the putting green, chipping green, hit some pitches, done a durability test, and it's doing so okay. However, the important test is coming up, the driver test. I can live past everything that I've not been fond about with this golf ball so far if it's faster and longer than those golf balls it mentioned before, the Srixon, Callaway and TaylorMade. But before we come on to that, I've not really covered loads about the tech. Also, I need to cut one in half in a moment. Apparently, it's faster because they've got a new high-speed core formulation. The cover is thermoplastic urethane, which apparently is going to help with speed as well, and there's a new dimple configuration. I think from what I understand, they've made the mantle, the core of the golf ball bigger, and typically bigger cored golf balls go faster. And something else I want to talk about is this statement they've put on the promotional box. Get tour speed or get left behind. Again, it's another bold statement. They're really trying to push the speed of this golf ball. And I think with that line, Tour Speed, what are they expecting? An 18 handicapper to start getting the speed of like a Justin Thomas or Adam Scott? I'm not sure, we'll find out. But before that, before we get to the tee, let's chop one in half and see what's inside, because I'm quite interested. In fact, I've got the clippers here in my pocket. Let's do that right now. So inside the Tour Speed, before I do that actually, I forgot to mention, I really like that logo. It was really good for putting with. I felt like it really gave me good alignment there. Forgot to mention that earlier. Inside, we see the 3 layers. We've got the core, which is just a big solid core. There's like this kind of inner mantle here, which is that apparently going to give the feel, and it's got the outer core as well. It actually looks quite similar to the inside of a Pro V1X. It looks very similar in that kind of colorway. Either way, that's the inside of the golf ball. Without further ado, let's go and find out if this golf ball, if the Titleist Tour Speed is faster and therefore potentially longer than those other 3 balls they mentioned before. Let's go and find out. So you know what time it is. It's time to hit these golf balls with driver on GC Quad. So how I've laid this out, I've got 5 of the Callaway Chrome Soft, 5 of the Srixon Z Star, 5 of the TaylorMade Tour Response, and then finally 5 of Tour Speed. You know, laying those balls down and just even getting them out the box, it feels a little bit like Titleist are making a bit of a bold claim at 3 golf balls that it thinks it's going to be, it's almost being cocky, because the other 3 golf balls, the Callaway, Srixon especially, are soft golf balls. Like the cover of those golf balls are soft. With the Titleist being firmer, you'd expect to see more ball speed, but let's see if that's actually the case. Now on the box, as I mentioned, it calls out these 3 balls saying it's going to get more ball speed. When you look down into the very small print at the bottom, it said it was done on a robot, 140 miles per hour ball speed, 12 degrees launch angle and 2,900 spin. So I'm just putting that out there, but I'm different to that. I swing faster than that. I hit the ball with more speed. My average ball speed is around 160 miles per hour. So what I'm going to do with this test, to make it nice and fair, I'm going to alternate between each ball, and then we'll work out the averages of ball speed and distance. What I promise to you guys watching, I'm going to try and do the same clubhead speed every single time. Right, let's get going. Let's see if the Titleist can deliver on that very bold claim. Okay, last ball to hit in this test. The last one of the Titleist Tour Speed. I've hit 19 golf balls so far, and this is the last one. Feel-wise, just picking up the balls, and when I've tested them in the past, the Callaway and Srixon are definitely softer covered golf balls. That's what it feels like to me. The Titleist does feel the most firm covered golf ball. But what does that equate to in speed and distance? I'm gonna hit this final one, and then we'll have a look at the numbers. That's a pretty decent one on the last one. Let's calibrate those averages, and we'll find out if the Tour Speed is actually faster. So the results are in. Is the Titleist Tour Speed, as they claimed, going to be faster than the Srixon Z Star, the Callaway Chrome Soft, and the TaylorMade Tour Response? I'll come to that in a second. But first, I've had an opportunity to review this golf ball today, and is it a decent ball? Yeah, it's okay. It's not my favourite ball I've ever tested from Titleist, and if I'm honest, for me personally, it doesn't particularly match up to a Pro V1, but it's not meant to do, and also the price point is cheaper. It's going to be £10 to £15 per dozen box cheaper. It might fit some golfers out there. You might like the performance of it more than I did particularly. But the important question, was it faster? Well, across the board with all the testing that I did, my clubhead speed today was 110 miles per hour. these are the numbers that we saw with the 4 golf balls. As you can see, the Titleist was not the fastest. In fact, it was the 3rd fastest in this test that I did at my club head speed, the way I hit it. So that claim for me is not true. It's a decent ball. I'd be interested to see who likes it. It might suit more of a slower swing speed. Get out there and give it a go. You might find it's longer for you. But for me, it was not longer than the Srixon or the Callaway in this test. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, lots more to come, and we'll see you next time.